man, Tank Davis revealing that it's Floyd Mayweather, not Al Haymon. All right, Rolly posted on social media, I put it on the thumbnail, that Al Haymon is greater than Oscar De La Hoya. Amazon is greater than the Zone. You know, and some other personal stuff about De La Hoya wearing fishnets and all this other stuff. And Tank subtweeted it by saying, you know, Rolly a dummy, he ain't caught on. It's Floyd, not Al Haymon. So for the most part, he basically saying that it's Floyd Mayweather that's pulling the strings, not Al Haymon. And at the end of the day, remember, you know, Haymon brought that up to Errol Spence, and Errol Spence said that he ain't never seen Floyd's name signed on his check. So you remember he said that. He said, I ain't never seen Floyd's name on my check. And, you know, mostly, you know, Al Haymon doesn't know nothing about boxing, which makes perfect sense. Floyd knows all about boxing. What's so funny, if this is true, and I believe what Tank is saying is true, I don't know why he would have no point to lie. You know, when Floyd go out here and say, well, you know, he had in an interview some years ago talking about how these boxers spoiled and how he had to get it out the mud and he had to take what they was giving him, and all these fighters now making a bunch of money. And then Floyd is pulling the strings with the matchmaking and doing this, that, and the third, which people think he is. People think he the one that messed up the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight, which in my mind, I don't think Ryan Garcia wanted to fight anyway. And I addressed Ryan Garcia probably in a live stream. By the time y'all see this, I probably already did it Monday. But by Monday. But nonetheless, and then Floyd, you know, like I said, you know, it seemed like Al would be the business side of things, crunching the numbers. But then you ask who the matchmakers is. I think it's Luis de Cubas and somebody else. But then again, who is the decision maker at the top? And if it might be Floyd. You know, Floyd might be making the boxing decisions and what's smart. Because remember, he told Adrian Broner after he lost to Madonna, he think he should just follow Al Haymon plan. How does Al Haymon calculate or come up with a plan if how does Al Haymon come up with a plan, in my humble opinion, if you know, he really don't have boxing? You know, who's the boxing guy for him? Now, his brother, he did box. His brother fought, Bobby Haymon fought Sugar Ray Leonard, but how does he come up with the boxing plan? You know, how does he know, you know, who to put here, who to sign and all that stuff? So at the end of the day, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Floyd was pulling all the strings as far as matchmaking and what they should and what they shouldn't do. And that might be why you got guys like, you know, Deontay Wilder that went on and did what he wanted to do and fought Tyson Fury again when they didn't want him to. Or Earl Spence went on and fought Terrence Crawford. Now, when he was getting his ass whooped by Terrence Crawford, some people might not have peeped it. Floyd Mayweather was in the crowd laughing. He was in the crowd laughing. And it wasn't like the nigga next to him was telling no joke. He was in the crowd laughing. So, you know, in my humble opinion, what, you know, Gervonta Davis is saying, it could be 100% accurate because, you know, Sam Watson ain't really a boxing guy. He's been around boxing a long time. You know, most people say Sam is a ticket broker. Hey, that's what they say. You know, so who is the one, like, who's the boxing mind behind it? And if you go back, and I've done videos on this, if you go back and you look at, you know, 50 Cent when, you know, Floyd told him to start a company, and then it looked like, you know, they was trying to backdoor Al Haymon, you know, but it really wasn't a backdoor, because if Floyd Mayweather come to 50 and ask him for help, and I'm going to put some shit out here y'all probably didn't know. You can, if I have got a whole article on this. And, you know, obviously when you go search outside your home or the people that you know for help and advice, that means you got something going on that you can't handle. It's basically like this. When you at the crib and ain't shit working out at the crib the right way, and the girl ain't giving you no box, or your boyfriend ain't acting right, what do people do? They go outside the home to find what they can't get at the crib. You catch my drift? So with Floyd, it must not have been all peaches and cream with Al Haymon. So before he went to jail, he asked 50 for help to start their own company. 50 did all the company, copyrighted the TMT name, could have been really, been took all Floyd money that he made off of it because he owned the rights to it, but he didn't do that, right? Got the fighters together, started their own company, started, according to the article, he started brokering deals with venues like Jerry Jones, New Orleans, and all these different venues that was directly going to pay them and cut out Al Haymon and any other promoter, and that Floyd was going to go on the road and do these fights. But I think what he didn't estimate was that, Las Vegas got power over Floyd. Floyd, every now and again, got to fight in Las Vegas to generate the money for the city. And I'm pretty sure they got some type of control or handshake agreement with Floyd. So that's one thing they didn't do. And then obviously Al Haymon probably, came through and probably had some paperwork on Floyd and say, no, you can't do this. So how 50 took it as a diss when Floyd got out and went back to Al Haymon probably had something over Floyd's head or had something in paperwork that said he had to work with him. Now, I'm going to dig into some things that you may not know. This is allegedly. Now allegedly, Don King tried to get Floyd to fight Corey Spinks, and they offered him some money to fight Corey Spinks. At the time, I don't think the money was big. I forget exactly the dollar amount they tried to get him to do so, allegedly. And, Don King allegedly warned Floyd, all this is alleged, about Al Haymon. He said, if you're going to work with Al Haymon, make sure you get some ownership of the fighters. Right? That was Don King advice to Floyd. Make sure you get some ownership of the fighters. Now, this is all allegedly, okay? Now, apparently, him and Al get into business. Now, it sounded like at one point Floyd had some ownership, or had opportunity to have some ownership over the fighters, right? Now, in the past, he said that he is Team PBC and he got ownership through different companies. Remember when he said basically Pacquiao working for him when he signed over there, right? Now, it's being said allegedly that Floyd had a tax problem. Another tax problem outside of the 150 Cent helped him out with, allegedly. And in this tax problem that he had, allegedly, that Al Haymon took care of, I don't think this came after the 50. Don't quote me on that. The 50 Cent tax problem, 50 helped him. Floyd gave up ownership of the fighters for Al Haymon to take care of his tax problem. This is all alleged. So this is why, he don't have any ownership of the fighters. All right. This is a story that was been going around in Rumorville for like the last 4 or 5 years. And that's one of the reasons why if he doesn't have ownership of the fighters, that's why, is because he relinquished that and gave it to Al for Al to take care of his tax problem. Now, my thing is this. Going back to the 50 Cent story that you can read on Fight Hype about how they tried to cut out Al Haymon. They made it seem like they tried to backdoor Al Haymon. But how do I backdoor Al Haymon when Floyd came to me for help? And what 50 Cent said was, how's this dude your manager going from Harvard and you don't have a business manager? You don't have you don't have none of these things in place, a business manager, a CPA. I mean, he named a number of things that Floyd didn't have in place. And he said Floyd don't have none of this in place. Why didn't he have it in place? In my humble opinion, because Al Haymon was getting over on him. What did he tell Logan Paul? He said, I'm cashing checks from 10 years ago. This is just how it worked. And Logan Paul wanted his money after the fight, and he don't understand what Al Haymon, that money come on the back end. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, allegedly, Floyd cut out Al Haymon and started going on the road. This is why he didn't want to do the pay-per-view on December 9th. This is why he didn't want to fight on Showtime to say the PBC deal. He started brokering deals over in Japan, over around the world, working with that brother from the UK. I forget his name. They did an interview on him on Fight Hype. And Floyd Mayweather was cutting Leonard Ellaby and cutting Al Haymon out and plugging directly in. So he was taking all what 50 Cent set up for him. That's what he was doing, fighting John Gotti on Zeus. He was getting the money without having Al Haymon distributed to him. So what is going on? Al Haymon paying them. He instead of paying them a lump sum, he holding the money and then dispensing it allegedly, once at a time. And people say, well, that's smart, so they don't blow their money. They blowing through their money. As soon as they get the money, they blowing it. And then when it's time to borrow money from Al Haymon, he put interest on it. And, I'll just say this, allegedly, I seen one of the PBC contracts is true. They don't have a guarantees. They don't guarantee them a fight. So you can go 3 years without fighting, and Al Haymon, you can't hold it against him. Al Haymon don't have to give you a fight until he say he give you a fight. There's no guarantee that you have to fight in the calendar year in them contracts. So like I continue to say, you want to wonder why Floyd don't have ownership. That was a story that I heard. He exchanged it to take care of a problem. And when somebody paying you like that, of course you're going to have a tax problem. Because you getting paid, you know, every day, or, you know, I don't know if it's Monday through Friday, every other day or whatever, you know, you still got to pay that money. And they 1099 employees too. So you got to take your own taxes out, allegedly. So individual contractors. So it's a dirty game that dog playing. Y'all want to know why Al Haymon wear shades and cover up the windows and all that shit? You would think he'd take care of Floyd Mayweather. He'd set him up with a CPA business manager. But if you start setting people up or telling people to get those and putting it in place, somebody going to say what Al Haymon is doing is shady as hell to you, bro. So at the end of the day, you know, if Al Haymon making the moves, absolutely. But who is he delegating his boxing knowledge to? It's not the promoters. The promoters that he worked with, they barely eating. He said they barely, I mean, I heard stories that anybody around Al Haymon is barely eating. He the king of the block, and he barely keeping motherfuckers fed enough where they won't starve. So when y'all talking about how good he is and why people don't speak bad on him, allegedly that's in the contract where they can't speak bad on him. A lot of dudes know they didn't sign to Al Haymon, they didn't fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So it's naturally that he the business side of stuff, but who's the boxing side of stuff? Because Tim Smith don't know shit about boxing. Sylvia don't probably know shit about boxing. You know, Luis the Cubist and whoever the other guy, I forget the matchmaker is. Yeah, I think Tom Brown might be the other matchmaker. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know, but the real person, you know, that got boxing knowledge and influence is Floyd Mayweather. It's a shitty business. It's a shitty run business. And people think that Floyd Mayweather is intentionally holding some of these dudes back not to be better than him. And that could be true. I can't speak on that. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJGood313, Venmo, CJGood313, PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and much, much more. Hit the link tree. Peace.